If you've been watching my videos for a while, you know that I quite like the Fnatic Flick G1. Now we have the Fnatic Clutch G1, which appears to be a modified Funk MS2. Hi, my name is Zai, I've played Quake for over 18 years and reviewed over 50 mice. Companies often try to be different from each other to get the sales, which is great, and shape is one of the best ways of doing that when it comes to mice. However, sometimes there are certain rules that get broken to make this happen, and while the Clutch G1 looks like a fairly safe shape, there's a really questionable design feature on the right. It's going to be hard to show on camera, but this side here tapers in, so it doesn't make contact with your palm, and as a result, it feels like the front right actually bulges out. I've been using this for over a month now, and I still can't get used to it in palm grip. It's okay in claw because your palm doesn't need to rest on it. A quick tour of the mouse, it's coated in a soft and grippy rubberized material, with a thumb curve, and a ledge for comfort and to assist with picking it up. Rounded back, wide front, some subtle comfort grooves in the buttons, and an almost safe shape on the right. That's pretty much the only problem that I see with the shape of this mouse. If they had have just kept it standard on that side, I think this could have taken some sales off the other large mice. Although it probably needs to be lighter too, as it weighs about 109 grams. The Death Adder weighs about 100. The weight distribution feels good, with the balance point where I naturally place my thumb and fingers, and that's about in line with the sensor too. Here it is next to some other mice so you have a general idea of the size. Next to the Razer Death Adder and the Fnatic Flick G1, it looks more like the Death Adder. The grip width is about 6 centimeters. Base length is a bit confusing at about 11.5, but with this tapered area, it's more like 12.5, so it's close to the 2:1 ratio, and about 4.2 centimeters tall. The button slope seems a bit on the steep side, and the hump is more in the middle. So while I find it uncomfortable in palm, it can be used in that grip, maybe 17.5 to 19 centimeters. It's more for claw grip in my opinion, so roughly 18 to 20, but bigger hands might be able to do it still. But really, you can probably go either side of that too. And fingertip grip, not easy to do. I'd say it could work for hands over 19.5 centimeters. For a large mouse, the dimensions are good. It's just the shape that needs adjusting, so it will be more comfortable in all grips. Moving on to the buttons, here is a listen to the clicks. Left and right use armor on switches and they're light, but when they come back up, they can sometimes feel a bit loose. Otherwise a good amount of travel and good feel, so they should be suitable for FPS and MOBA. Middle click is tight, not easy to press, with very little travel, but I've had no accidental clicks. There's a good amount of tension on each step on the scroll wheel, and it feels smooth. It should be good for gaming and browsing. Unfortunately, it's just a bit loose. The side buttons have a good amount of travel, they're quiet, feel smooth and comfortable. The CPI buttons are small, hard to press in and out of the way, so no accidental clicks on those either. In the latency testing against the G900, neither test is accurate, but they both perform about the same. I was getting mixed results in the bomb test, because it depends on the button tension too, either could be faster. Overall, quite a good performance from the buttons and scroll. There are just some quality concerns on the scroll. When tapping the mouse, I can hear something rattling, and when shaking it, it becomes obvious. When I hold the scroll, the rattle disappears. Now to test the implementation of the 3310 sensor. All good on the rocket jumps, and moving it as fast as I can't make it spin out. However, using the tilt slam test, which means holding the mouse on its side and slamming it down, as with most sensors, this one does spin out, which is why some people are moving to the 3360. It's not a problem for me, I still use a mouse with the 3310, but some do have an issue with it. In the sniper test, zooming in, it tracks pixel by pixel, and as smoothly as expected. I tested it at 400 and 1600 CPI, and any skipping you see here is from recording the video. It works perfectly otherwise. Testing for acceleration, I don't have an accurate test, but it seems in the right area, no problem there. The lift-off distance was an issue on the Flick, and again, for some reason it's just under 3 DVDs on a cloth pad, and over 3 DVDs on a hard pad. It doesn't bother me, but for people wanting low lift-off distance, this is going to be a deal breaker, and other mice using the 3310 usually have a low lift-off distance. There's no reason why this can't be as well. Testing for delay, I can't detect any. It feels responsive to me. I also tested the 360 against the G900 and the Fnatic Flick, and it seemed like the CPI steps were off. So if you do buy this mouse, make sure you check what your 360 is, as you may need to adjust your sensitivity slightly. Might just be my copy, or my test might not be accurate. Just putting it out there. It's good to know your 360 anyway. In the line test, there's no abnormal jitter, skipping, or angle snapping. The lift-off movement is fine considering how high the lift-off distance is, and there's no lens rattle. Overall, a good performance from the 3310 as usual, but a lot of people want that lift-off distance lowered. usually to about 1.8mm. There are 3 mouse feet which glide smoothly. The cable is about 1.8 meters, braided and a little bit stiff, but it wasn't too bad in a mouse bungee. It might become more flexible over time. In the software you can set 3 CPI levels, which go from 50 to 5000 in increments of 50. You can also set 3 profiles, and in buttons, you can set the usual mouse functions with some extras like triple click, but also CPI and profile cycle. There are also media, office, and Windows commands. It's an RGB mouse, which cycles smoothly, and you have some extra modes too, including pulsate, heartbeat, and blink. The macro recorder detects mouse and keyboard, and it has onboard memory. In conclusion, I really like the overall quality of the Fnatic branded mice, despite having a few quality concerns. They seem like premium products. However, due to the weight and the shape, I don't think I would recommend this one over the others. For me, the 3310 sensor is fine, but as I said, they have to work on the lift-off distance. It should be adjustable. Or they could probably just move to the 3360 now, like everyone else, as it's the only optical that doesn't suffer from the tilt slam issue. So, if they fix the build quality concerns, put in a 3360 sensor, reduce the weight to 100 grams, and made the shape on the right a more standard design, this could actually be a top recommendation as a large mouse. So it's quite good, but not quite top 20 worthy yet. With those improvements, it could definitely get there. Despite the issues, I was still able to get some good highlights and play fairly well. I just had higher expectations after using the Flick G1. Anyway, I hope that helps, and a special thanks to Fnatic for sending this out for review. If you'd like to purchase one, I'll leave some links in the description. And as always, subscribe, share, like this video, and I'll catch you in the next.